Roman Empire was still officially pagan. They were not Christian. And Justinian was the ruler who wanted to claim the Christianity as the new religion of the Roman Empire. He also had a wife, her name was the Theodora. But Theodora didn't like by the people because she was not a royal family member. Her father was a man who makes bear dancing. You know the bears and they are dancing. He was a man who makes bear dancing shows in the Hippodrome Square. So that's why the people didn't like her. One day, Justinian organized a chariot race inside the Hippodrome. He invited all the people to watch this ceremony. When the people were watching their show, suddenly a fight started between the racers, and then audience attended that fight too, and they started to stab each other in the middle of the Hippodrome Square. Roman soldiers suppressed these fighters, and they realized that there was 10 dead bodies on the ground. Justinian opened an investigation, and he found out that there was 7 men who provoked these fights. They were actually his opponents. They were against the Christianity. That's why Justinian gave that 7 men hanging penalty in the middle of the Hippodrome Square, and he invited everyone to watch this hanging ceremony. When the people took their chairs, they started to hang all these 7 men by one. They hanged the first one, third one, fifth one. When they were going to hang the last 2 men, somehow their ropes broken and they fall down to the ground. Then the people thought that it must be a sign by the god, and they asked Justinian to forgive these 2 men. But Justinian didn't show any mercy, and he said, hang them again. After these 2 guys died, all the people in the Hippodrome, they were silent, but suddenly everyone started to shout in one mouth as the Nika, Nika, Nika. This thing will become a rioty. Even today we call this rioty as the Nika rioty. Nika is actually Nike, the shoes brand. She was the god of the victory in the Romans. That's why that shoes brand using that title. Sports, competition, winnings, blah blah. Normally, the winner team supporters were shouted at the end of the races as the Nika Nika to make the defeated team supporters angrier. But that day, everyone shouted against the Justinian. Then these people left the stadium together. Their number was 30,000 people. They walked through the stairs up hills and they burned down all the buildings in the city. Then some of them walked through the stairs prison and they released the prisoners. And at the end of the day, they arrived here, and there was actually one more Hagia Sophia in this area. This is the 3rd version of it. But all the other 2 Hagia Sophia before than this one, they were very small, narrow church. And they demolished the 2nd Hagia Sophia. The people did it because they were not supporters of the Christianity. Then these people walked across to the road and they retook their positions inside the Hippodrome Square. In that times, today's Blue Mosque area was the Roman Imperial Palace. Some of the rioters attempt to walk in the palace to kill the Justinian and his wife. Justinian got scared and he asked his wife Theodora to leave the city. But Theodora was such a brave lady, and in that day she had a purple dress. Purple was the color of the royalty because it was having by some seashells which was on axis in the Syrian and the Lebanon coast. So that's why the purple was the color of the royalty actually. So in the same day, Theodora showed her purple dress to her husband. She said, Justinian, as you know, my father was a bear dancer, but now I am the queen of the Roman. And she said she would prefer to die in her palace rather than escape. She said, I'm not going to go anywhere. If they kill me, they can kill me in my purple dress in my palace. And then Justinian, impressed by these words, when everyone was stuck inside the Hippodrome, he sent 5,000 soldiers inside the Hippodrome, and the soldiers took off their swords and they ran against the rioters. At the end of the day, Justinian, being able to suppress this rioting, just after he killed 30,000 people in the middle of the Hippodrome. And then he started the construction of the Hagia Sophia in 532, and they completed it only in 5 years. When we walk inside, you are going to realize that it is a massive temple. And when you imagine that the people built it in the 6th century only in 5 years, it blows up your mind. But the reasons to understand how he been this much rapid is actually easy to understand. There was two reasons. The first reason was a politic reason. I mean, he killed 30,000 people and he wanted to claim the Christianity as the new religion, but the people against of it, so that's why he didn't have a time to wait. And the second reason, as we know, he already stole like almost 90% of the messages in the city even before the riot. So he was already going to build a new mosque, new church, but these fight became a great excuse for him to rapid the processes. So the Hagia Sophia was actually the most important symbol of the Christianity because it symbolized the Romans became Christian. Till before this mosque, till before the 6th century, Romans killed 3 million Christians all around the world. Yes.